I had to phone a friend to make it up a hill. Yesterday was the half marathon I signed up for in Mountain View. Now, I've only been to Mountain View a couple times before when I was a realtor and I was showing houses, and all I can remember was it has a really cute downtown. But I knew nothing about the course for this marathon or anything, just that the people who run it are super, super nice. And so I had originally signed up to do a marathon, as you know, and then I realized that maybe I'm pushing myself too fast. I need more durability. Need more time on feet before I can do a whole marathon. So there was a little bit of that. I don't want them waiting for me. I don't want to be the last person across the finish line. I don't want them waiting all day for me. So I moved it back to a half marathon. Well, we started off really well. It came from the church, and then you walked through downtown, and then turned a corner, and then went out in the boondocks for 5 more miles. And it was cool when I first started because I just walked at my pace. You know, that's like how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to run. Walking is what I want to do. And I was doing that, but I kept passing people because some people were just out to stroll the 5K, which is fine. Great. They're getting exercise, you know, it's all good. And I came up to a lady, an older lady, and she was doing intervals, walking and running intervals. And I said, "Are you Jeffing?" Because Jeff Galloway created that walk-run method. And she says, "I'm really trying to." She said, "But I'm 73 years old and I just had a heart attack 2 months ago." And I said, "Oh, wow." I'm like super impressed. Like, she's already out here working out again. She goes, "My doctor is 100% in favor of it because movement is good. And I'm used to doing this." So I stayed with her for a little bit, and eventually I passed her. I passed a lot of people until I got past the 5K spot. And then I was out there by myself. And I didn't even know if I was going the right way, because when I passed like the last block before you head out into the boondocks, there were, on both sides of the road, there were arrows that said 15K, 15. Is that what it was? Half marathon, 15K. Yeah. Right? I don't know. Anyway, I thought, did I miss a turn somewhere? And this is how I'm coming back. And so I kept going, and probably less than a half a mile later, the lady who is the director of the race, she pulled out and came around in her car, and she said, "Are you okay? Do you need anything?" And I said, "Am I going the right way?" "Oh yeah, you just keep going out there till you get to 8 miles, and then you'll turn around and come back." So good, I'm going. I felt good at that point, and I thought, I've got this. Well, back in the back there are all kinds of hills and ups and downs, and I thought, holy moly. But the worst part about it is that, you know how roadsides are banked? I did like 5 miles on that one side of the road, and my left hip started hurting. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, because you're off center, right? And your left hip is taking the whole thing. And there were some times I needed a break from it, you know? So I turned around and I walked backwards, which on a highway probably isn't such a great idea, but I did it a few times just because I needed some relief, and I didn't want to stop. I mean, I was feeling like I could still go. Well, I got to the top of let me back up a little bit. So I have a vest, right? And the vest has, you've seen it, it has the 2 flasks for liquid, and then it's got some pockets and stuff. And I loaded it up with electrolytes and water, and I had some dates, but I wasn't hungry, and nobody else had a vest. And I'm like, yeah, they said there's a lot of aid stations. I don't need this. So I left it behind because I felt like I'd be okay. Well, all I wanted to do, I passed every aid station. No, I don't need anything. I don't need any blue Gatorade. I don't need any water. I'm good. I don't need food. And then I get to the last, the last hill got me to the top, where I turned around like it was at the top of a hill. And they're like, "Do you want water? Do you want Gatorade?" I said, "I just want to get to the top of the hill." So I got to the top of the hill, and I turned down the Gatorade because this has been my big problem. Like, I really am having a hard time with trying to figure out electrolytes because I don't like to drink sweet stuff. And the thought of blue Gatorade was just not something I wanted to think about. And so I had water, and I said that going, being on the side of the road like that really hurt my hip. And they're like, oh, I know, I'm sorry, I don't know why they don't go through town where it splatters. She was so nice. Like everybody who runs that race, or who runs it, who directs it and participates in it, volunteers for it, they're so nice. So I get down to a hill, and I start climbing up the hill, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot go up this hill. There is like no way. So I call my husband. I'm like, hey, I can't do this. He's like, yeah, you can. I'm like, no, seriously, I can't do this. And when he's like, you got to do it. He goes, just push through it. I said, yeah. I said, but I was starting to get a cramp in my right foot. And my hip felt better because I was on the other side of the road, and but my foot cramped, and I said, I just don't know. So I said, okay, I'm about to the top of the hill, and I hung up. Like, I'm at the top of the hill. So I start going down, and I think, you remember that I have a video back a while back that talks about not quitting on a bad day. Well, I thought about that, and I decided I am not going to quit on a hill, on an uphill, because it was all hill. It's just whether you're going up or down. And so I just kept going. My hip felt better, but the cramp in my foot kept getting worse. So I got to another hill, and I'm like, dang it. And I thought, really, cramping is nothing to mess around with. And I've been really struggling, like I said, with the electrolyte thing. I've been trying to work it out, trying to make my own mix, trying to make it good. And I'm not sure that I wasn't already depleted before I even started saying no to the blue Gatorade. Well, I get to mile number 9. I get to mile number 9. And I say, I will have some Gatorade. Do you have any? No, we're all out. And I was like, oh my gosh, my foot is super crampy. So I keep walking. I'm like, I don't need water. I'm good. I just needed something, electrolytes for my foot cramping. And I feel so dumb about this because I always said that if I DNF a race that did not finish, it would be something that happened out of my control, an injury, whatever, but not something that I had control over. And I absolutely 100% have control over my electrolyte intake, but I just can't figure it out yet. So I need more time with that. Anyway, so I keep walking, and finally I called David again. There's another hill. I said, I don't think I can do this. I think I really need to stop. I said, because when you let cramping go too far, that can get bad fast. And I said, I need you to help me. I need you to come get me, I think. And then all of a sudden this woman comes out of her house, right? She's got a bottle of water. She's in her bathrobe. She goes, oh girl, can I help you? She goes, do you need some water? I'm like, no, I'm fine. I said, I'm just having trouble getting up the hill. And oh, but you just, here, stop. You can stop. It's okay for you to stop, and you don't even have to hold the bottle. I'll pour the water into your mouth. She was so nice. I'm like, really, I'll be fine. I'm good. I can go. So I finished up that hill, and I started down the other side, and I thought, okay, I am not on a hill. There was a big curve in the road, and I went on the curve in the road, which, because I was on the other side, it didn't hurt my hip as bad, but I could just see how this was going to happen. I'm going back on the other side. My other hip's going to hurt, right? So I called David, and I'm like, you really need to come get me. I said, my foot is a whole cramp now. This is Wesley. And I don't think it's good for me to keep going because I don't want to hurt myself badly. So I kept walking a little bit while I was waiting for him. And I found a place where it's like a pull off, like somebody had started a road maybe to get into their woods or whatever. And I thought that's a good place for him to stop. He was only about 4 miles away from me. I thought he should be here soon. It's like, where are you? And I'm like leaning down on my knees. And when I leaned down on my knees, I looked on the ground and I found a dime. And I always think, when I find money on the ground, it's pennies from heaven, right? And I thought, oh my gosh, like, how am I going to find a dime just out here in the middle of nowhere, right? God is telling me this is the right thing to do. And I felt good about it. I still felt crappy because I was like, hey, can you not speed to get here? I just need to get done. So he picked me up, and we went back, and we stopped at the grocery store, and he got me some Gatorade, which I had to drink because that was what they had. He got me some ibuprofen for my hip. I love that topical stuff. I learned about it from an ultra running video. I think it's called Voltaren. I don't like to take pills, and so taking or putting that excuse me, that's Chuck. Putting that on topically on my hip was great. But I thought about bringing it, and I forgot to bring it. So anyway, I took the ibuprofen, and then we got home, and I just sat in the chair like a vegetable, recounting all the things. And while I was waiting for him in the grocery store, I was having a little chat with ChatGPT, and I told ChatGPT that I DNF'd the race, and it wanted to know all the details. And it said, first of all, you will always wear your vest. Just because no one else is doing it doesn't mean that you're not going to. You are not everyone else. And I wanted to say, yes, mother. In fact, I think I did. So I was trying not to feel like a loser. It's really hard when you set out to do something and not finish it. So chat says, you should look at it like data. You went 9.77 miles. That's not losing. That's just, the vagaries of the shoulder of the road, and, being under electrolyted to start with, and then not taking anything in the whole time, not having my vest that has all my supplies in it, relying on the aid station to have everything I need. I know better than that. That was a dumb move. I won't do it again. And I don't care. Even when I did that first trail race, nobody had hiking poles but me. And I did it just because I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to fall. And I swear, if I didn't have those, I would have face planted 7 times. It was tough. And so I don't know why I couldn't get past that with the vest yesterday. I'm pretty sure there had to have been people in the marathon that wore a vest. Anyway, I just have to look at everything with a critical eye and say, okay, one, you didn't think you had your electrolytes done to start with. And I really, really want to be a trail runner. That's what I've been working for. And I got ahead of myself by signing up for the marathon. Am I so glad I didn't do the marathon? I couldn't have done it. I couldn't even do the half marathon. And I've walked that far before. It was just a matter of not being on, I would 10 times rather be on an actual trail, even a technical trail that's got rocks and roots and stuff that, you're constantly moving, because it was that solid walking in one direction with my hip always in that place for 5 miles that just about did me in. It hurt so bad. And it's sore today, but it feels so much better. And I made sure to, we put off our shopping until today, so I would not just sit in the chair and vegetate all day today. Because, really recovery is a thing. I can't just push myself. Somebody showed me a trail race for next weekend. Well, I am not doing a trail race next weekend. I might do that one next year, though. I've been looking at it, and it looks kind of interesting. You get to run to Jesus. It's at the Passion Play in Eureka Springs, and it's just kind of a cool course. And so, anyway, but back to yesterday. I want to encourage you to go for the things that you want to do, and if you don't finish it, or you don't, it doesn't turn out like you want, right now, I know I'm never going to be first. I figure my life as the DFL, dead effing last queen, has begun. This is my DFL queen era. And I don't think it's smart for me to think anything else. I've never been fast, not even when I was young and spry and lighter. I'm not a fast person. I'm a big person. But I learned yesterday too that I am built for trail. Trail races are slower by necessity. There's not a whole lot of, chasing to get there the fastest and all that stuff. Is getting there in one piece. Yes, somebody wins. Yes, somebody comes in first, but it's not that same environment as a road race is. And so I'm excited to go again. Here I am sitting here yesterday feeling like a loser, and today looking at that race for next year going, yeah, that's an actual trail race, just like the one I did in, it'll be in exactly a year from when I did this one. And and it'll be great, because ultimately I want to do technical trails. I don't think I can do that for a while though. I think I have entered the Mamba 50K. That is in Memphis. It's flat. It's in November, and it's a trail, but I don't think I have to worry about. I'm not going to be on the side of a road. I'm not going to be a whole lot of technical stuff's flat. So I think that I'm feeling confident about being able to finish that one, and I'm 100% confident I will have the whole electrolyte thing figured out before November. I have to. And then I want to start working on actual technical trails, because ultimately, and this is not today or tomorrow, it actually happens on the week of my birthday, the weekend of my birthday, and it's called the Arkansas Traveler, and it's 100 miles. Like, that's a long way down the road, but that's my ultimate goal, is to get to the Arkansas Traveler, and I have to know how to do a technical trail. So I will probably do several rail to trail, or just otherwise flat trails, not on a road, before I ever reach the Arkansas Traveler. But I'm going to do smaller trail races, just because getting the experience on it and moving a little bit quickly, learning your footing and all that, it will be good. It'll be beneficial. So anyway, I just want to encourage you to go for it. Go for what you want to do, and be careful. Don't do stupid stuff. I was asking ChatGPT, I consult he's like my coach. So will I need the hiking poles on that trail next year? And it said you won't need it for all of it, but if you feel like more confident on the rockier sections, yeah, sure, take them, and don't worry about what anybody thinks. And that's the biggest thing I guess I'm here to tell you, is don't worry about what anybody else thinks. And this is like me, like I suck at that, I just need to be more confident in knowing what is good for me and doing what's good for me, and not worrying about what anybody else is thinking. Because I ran into another Marine yesterday, and her name is Laura, and I think we'll be friends. And she lives, I don't know, an hour or two that away from me, but she sent me a text message afterwards, and she's like, "You're very inspirational to me." And I was like, oh, I failed. So try not to look at it as a failure. I think going 9.77 miles doesn't really equal failure. I just didn't finish, and it would have been cool if I could have finished. So I really want you to shoot for all your goals. It's so much fun. The people there yesterday were amazing. They were all so nice. It's a nice experience if that's what you want to do, if you want to do something like that. This is kind of how I pick my races. The one I'm doing in November, it was all of a sudden in my face all the time. And, I thought, it's Mamba, Mamba here, Mamba everywhere. And so I looked at all the videos. I listened to the race director on all the podcasts, and I thought, this guy cares about the people who are doing this race. And that means a lot to me, that's the kind of environment I want to be in. And I just love that. I love the feeling like when I told the girl at the 9-mile mark that I was, because we went back to her. She was the first one we came upon, because I'd already gotten, is that right? I don't know, wherever we stopped, because I was coming towards them. And I said, I'm dropping out, just to let them know, so they weren't waiting for me. And they're like, oh, we're so proud of you. You did so good, and I'm just like, oh. I feel like a loser. But that's just like what kind of people they are. It was amazing. And I would not do that one again, but not because of that, just because I'm not a road racing kind of person. So anyway, what are your big goals? Tell me what your big goals are. I want to cheer you on. We can do it. It doesn't matter. The lady yesterday, 83 or 73 years old, and just had a heart attack. Remember the race I did the last time? And there was a lady there who was 77, and she had a stroke in December. And I was just like, I see these women out there, and even if they were out there at the age of 73 and 77 without the medical stuff, that's really impressive. Yesterday I was on LinkedIn, and there was a woman who was 12 days shy of her 75th birthday, and she was doing pull-ups. She did 3 of them. And so I've never done a pull-up in my whole life, right? And someday in my life I want to do a pull-up. I just think that would be amazing. And somebody in her comments said, well, you can't really call that a pull-up. Your hands are wrong, and it's not really a chin-up either. And I was like, oh, here's this woman who's almost 75 years old, and she's lifting her whole body. Can you do that? And so I had to write a comment, and I really try to stay out of stuff like that. But how do you not just look at that and go, wow, look at what she's doing? That's amazing, you know? How do you just rip people apart for doing that? Anyway, I think it's cool. All y'all ladies that are older, especially if you're older than me, but any of y'all, I'm so proud of you for moving. Moving, it keeps you young, it keeps you rust free, and we just got to do it so that we can live better. So that's all. I don't have anything else. Thanks for spending time with me today. If this encouraged you, give it a thumbs up and share it with another aging rebel who needs a little hope. I'll see you in the next one, and remember, live strong, laugh often, and shine with purpose.